Hi, this is a bonus video. It's a bonus makeup tutorial video. Now, I posted up a picture on Instagram about a week or 2 weeks ago of a tropical eye colour, that's what I call it. And I had someone ask me if I would be willing to do a tutorial for them because they thought it looked really nice. So yeah, I had nothing on today, so it's rainy, my kids aren't home, so yeah. So I've turned to the camera and I've decided to do a tutorial for you lot. So here it is, here's the finished look. I'm wearing new eyelashes, they're not as thick as my normal. I do tell you a little bit about them when I apply them, but no, so that's my sort of orangey eye tropical look with a glowy face. So if you're interested to see how I created this and what products I use, including all my skincare as well, because I start from scratch, then please carry on watching. To start off with this makeup look, I go in with my skincare, and the first thing I apply onto my face is the NIOD, and this is the Superoxide Dismutase Saccharid Mist, and it's called SOD for short, so that's what that looks like. It's gorgeous, I love it. I will link my, I love it. I will link my current skincare video. So if you want to know a bit more about what I use on my face, where you can get it, and why I use it, then you take a look at that video afterwards. But it'll all be there, and I'll pop it down in the description box below anyway. So after that, and while it's still a little bit tacky on my face, I go in with the Ordinary, and it's a Hyaluronic Acid, and there's not much left of this. So just put just a little doppler, just pat it onto my face. Oh, it feels nice. I go through different serums. So the one I'm using at the minute is a Nip and Fab, and it's a glycolic fix serum that I got in my This Is powder box recently, and I'm really liking it. It's quite lightweight and it feels really nice on my skin. And then I just pat it into my skin. It smells gorgeous. Next is my moisturiser, and I absolutely love this one, and this is the Clinique Moisture Surge. That's what it looks like there. So what I do, I just dot it on my face. Whoops! Got probably a bit too much now. So yeah, so I just lightly dot it on my face and then I just blend it all in. Just very lightly. I love it. It leaves my skin feeling so soft and it absorbs well into my skin, and yeah, I love it. Really nice. While that's drying down, I go with a lip balm, and this is a, what is this one? Sport FX. I got it in a glossy box, I think. And then finally a primer, and this is Urban Decay Urban Defense, and it's SPF 30 and it's complexion primer. And that's what that looks like there. I love this. Oh, I love it. And then just lightly, it smells just like summer holidays. Like suntan lotion. So just put it all over my face and my ears. So ready to apply a foundation. So the foundation I'm going to use is a L'Oreal Infallible 24 Hours Matte, and I've got it in Porcelain, so shade number 10. And then I'm using a Nancy Beauty Blending Sponge. This foundation is lovely. It's cheap and cheerful, it's really good, it's long lasting, great at covering pores, and it doesn't dry too fast on your skin, so that's why I'm putting it all on now. So no, it's lovely. So I'm just patting it into my skin really. I'm using concealer, this is Tarte Shape Tape. And oh, I should say it's in Fair Neutral. Dabbing it, and where I want bits covered. Very lightly going in with the sponge again. The concealer acts as a eyeshadow base. I don't need a what do you call them? Eyeshadow primer, that's it. The concealer does it for me, which is fab. So that's my concealer done. So I'm going to set my eyelid and my eyebrow area with Rimmel Instafix Matte. It's just translucent powder. And then I'll do the rest of my face then after I finish the eye makeup. There, just down there. Next is my eyebrows. I normally use a Benefit Precisely My Brow, but I'm running out of it, so, and I love it. It doesn't last long at all, not long at all, and it's so expensive. So I've gone back to my Rimmel, and this is the basic eyebrow pencil, and it's in the shade Hazel, so I'm going to use this to give me an outline, and then I'm going to use a spoolie and a Gimme Brow from Benefit just to tidy up a little bit. So I'll speed this up a little bit. So Yeah, because I do take my time on my eyebrows because I got hardly any, as you can see. Then I put on a clear eyebrow gel, and this is Brow Coat by Lip Coaty, or Lip Coat. It's a bit dirty, so I'm not zooming in to show you because it's disgusting, but I have got a new one on the way. So underneath my eyebrows, I'm going to highlight it slightly. I just want to give it just a cleaner edge. So I'm using an Eyeliner, and it's a Brow Illuminizer pencil. It's a double-ended pencil there. So most of my eye colours are coming from this gorgeous palette, which you've probably seen me use before, and this is a Violet Voss by Nicole Concilio. It's a collaboration, and I love it. These are the colours. So yeah, these are oranges and the yellows and the golds, so that's what I'll be using today. But to start off with, I'm going to go in with NYC, which is at the top here, which is the white one. So just using an old Eco Tools brush, I'm just going to pat on that colour all over my eyelid, just to give it a really good matte base, a bright matte base. So I'm going to be sticking to this brush for a little while. It's a 228 by Zoeva. It's the Luxe Crease brush. I'm going to go in with, it's called Bruh, and it's this one here. So it's like a pale orangey colour. And I'm going to be working that into my crease and outer corners. Circular motions very, very lightly, and then bringing it over. So by doing it in sweeping motions and doing it lightly in circles, you're actually blending outwards as you go along. You're creating more of a softer look, plus you're covering a slightly wider area of your eye as opposed to just going in like this, especially with this brush because it's got like a little point, so it fits right into the crease of your eye, which I love, as you know if you've been following my channel for a while. So yeah, so I'm just bringing it over, right the way over, and slightly up, and then I'll do the same underneath. Next I'm going in with Pizza, which is the next one along. Circular motions, concentrating this time right in the corner, if you can imagine an imaginary line going from the corner of your eye to the corner of your brow, and there, right where the crease ends. If you can see there, you can just about see it. Concentrating in there, because sometimes when we're blending in darker shades and we don't spend enough time really focusing in that corner, sometimes you can have patchy eyeshadow and it doesn't look great, especially if you add dark on top of dark, etc. So really spending a little bit more time just in that particular area here, just concentrating, just blending it out very slowly and very gently, bringing it slightly over. And again, bringing it under my eye as I go along. So bringing that up this time now. Same colour, but bringing it slightly up. So I'm, in my mind, I'm creating like an angular V. Yeah, because I don't want the colour to be up here. I have got a rather large eye socket area here. It's quite big. But because I've got quite small eyes, I like to go for eyeshadow looks that elongate my eye a little bit. And it's specifically good as well for if you've got hooded eyes. And the older I'm getting, I've noticed that my eyes are drooping a little bit. They're not hooded, but they are starting to droop. So by concentrating mainly the colour up here, you give them the illusion of your eyes being lifted. So I'm just bringing it up slightly bit up here, as I said, into that imaginary triangle. There, can you see the difference between the two eyes now? This one looks more open, more wide awake. This one looks a little bit closed with a heavy eyelid. So it's only subtle, but it does make a big difference. So doing the same here. And then connect the two then, bottom and the top. So again, using this brush, I'm going in for a slightly brighter orange, and it's the Mars, which is down here. And I'm going to do exactly the same as what I've just done, but I'm going to concentrate mainly just in the outer corners, and that is just to darken up the outer corners. Look at that colour. It is gorgeous. So really soft going onto your eyelids in little tiny circular motions. Remember me saying about concentrating in that little area here? Yeah, so I'm bringing it down a little bit now as well. I'm bringing it onto my eyelid here. So imagine a V here. So there's the bottom V there. Can you see? That's what's in my mind. I want it to slightly come over, slightly, not as high as the other eyeshadow, but just, like if I go like that, you'll be able to see, you can see where this droops down a little bit. So my aim is for this particular colour is to imagine there's a line going across here. So it'd be to just the very top of the line, which is there. The last colour I had on is up here. But this colour, I just want it to follow the line there. So a really good tip if you're finding it hard, if you like this pine eyeshadow, that can create a false illusion. So if you were to do that, just squint. I know, wrinkles, everything shows up, but who cares? Just squint down, and then you can sort of imagine a line coming across there, and that's where you want the eyeshadow to stay. When you're doing work like this anyway on your eyelids. But obviously it's up to you. This is just the way I do this particular look. Same here. You can just about see it here, can't there? It's just a little bit up. And this all helps to elongate the eye and lift the eye up again. And using it without adding any more, just going underneath. Just using whatever's on the brush. So I'm using a 227, it's a soft finer brush. I'm just going to slightly brighten up the top there. And I'm using Zozo, which you can see there. So it is quite shimmery, but I have used it before and it's not too shimmery. If you were to apply too much shimmer, not so much under your brow, under your actual brows, but around here, especially if you've got quite a big eye area like myself, or if it's droopy, if you apply a lot of shimmer around to this area, so that's what would stand out, and that's what people would see first of all, is this big highlight here, which would accentuate your hooded eyes or your big eye area, which in actual fact you'd want, you know, the whole look all to blend. So yeah, I'm a bit weary of that now that I'm getting older, because I'm noticing, yeah. But no, I've tried this colour before and it is lovely. Just a slight pick-me-up, and I just want to do it just on the tops there. A little bit of yellow. Not all the way over as well, because a bit all over it can be too much, but just on the very tips there, can you see? I'm not sure if the camera picks it up. Just a little bit, just a little bit. Still very much keeping this area here matte. There. So I'm going to darken my inner corners a little bit more. I'm going to go with Chocolate, which is this one here. It's the darkest brown in the palette. And I'm using a slightly pencil-shaped pencil, and this is the 231, and it's the Luxe Petite Crease. So I'm actually just going to be dabbing on my eyes. You'll see here, just in the very corners. Can you see? I've just created like a dot. So that's my guide, that's my start. I don't want to go too down here, because that'll create an illusion of a droopy eyelid, but I just want it to pick up a little bit here and slightly on my eyelids. It's all angles. In my head, it's all angles. I want to create like a tiny little triangle. So up here and down across. Up, down, across. Up, down, across. Hopefully you can see what I'm on about. But this is just to darken up the inner corner a little bit, and then I'm just blending it over. So I don't want to create like a wing, because I will be using thick black eyeliner, but I do want a bit of definition in that corner. So you can see it already, even just a tiny bit, it transforms the eye a little bit, doesn't it? And then underneath, just a third of the eye, or maybe half, but no more than that. And then curving it around there. There. So it looks similar to like a 3. Can you see? It goes soft there, then in there on the eye, and then just under. So yeah, a 3, that's a good way to describe it. So same here, start off with my guide. Do a little bit of a wiggle. And bring it down here. Going in with a clean brush, I'm just using this to blend. So this is a 224 and it's a Luxe Define Crease by Zoeva. Very, very lightly, because I don't want to get rid of any of the work I've done previously, but I want to blend in that brown a little bit. Especially here where my eyelids tend to be a little bit creasy. So going in very, very small circular motions and just blending it out a bit. So I'm going to go for a shimmery colour, and this is LA, and it's the one right at the top here. Apply it on my eyelids dry, and then I will go in with a bit of setting spray and intensify the colour a bit. So going right up into my lash line, into my corners, and out. And then once I get, because I don't want to go right the way over, because then I'll be going over the work I've already done. I don't press on my eyelids hard anyway, but I have got more pressure there, and then as I come along I'm feathering it, so I'm lightly stroking, hardly touching, and this just makes the blend just easier. So yeah, so imagine like brush strokes, feathering it out. Same here, start in the corner. Try Victoria. Maybe I used the Victoria last time, which is the next one. See if that's a bit brighter. Right, and going under again in the corners. There. So that's quite a bright colour. Just using setting spray, which is e.l.f. Dewy Mist, which I'll put on my face afterwards. So I've got some colour on there, so just 2 squirts. Mainly in the corner and on top of my eye, where my eyelashes are. There. That brightens them up quite a bit, doesn't it? And then using a 237 detailed shader brush, tiny. I'm using a highlighter kit by Anastasia Beverly Hills, and this is the Glow Sun Dip kit. And I'm going to be using Summer, which is here, and I'm just going to put them in the inner corners. There, can you see how the colours all blend into each other? Hopefully you can. So the next thing I do is my liquid eyeliner. Now I've got a few because I'm having a bit of trouble with my liquid eyeliners at the moment. They're drying out, and there seem to be a few of them that are drying out, so you might see me dip in and out of a few. So the first one I'm going to be using is a Steve Laurent one, and it's a precision tip liner in black, and we had this in a glossy box recently. So I'm going to start off with it. So I'm using the side of the tip, you can see it's quite long, and I'm pressing along my lash line. So this is to get it really as close to my lash line as possible, and it gives me like a guide as well to work up from. And it also tells me that this is a little bit dry, so I'm not going to do any more on this eye with this. So Soap and Glory, let's see if this works. Not really. Kat Von D tattoo liner. I need to get some new ones. Sex Kitten by Tarte. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Oh, this is really stressing me out. These eyeliners are rubbish. They're normally quite good, but they're all drying up. Bear with me. Right, I think that's okay. It's passable. And then going to do the waterlines of my eyes and just the inner corner there using the black Sex Kitten eyeliner. So I just do this in the corner to connect. When I do quite a thick wing, it's nice just to give a connection here. Again, it elongates the eye, but if I brought this too much over, it has got the danger of making my eye look really small again. So just to keep it wide and winged out, I just go in the corners and connect it to the liquid eyeliner, and then using a finger, blend the edges. Very, very lightly, I'm going on the inner rims, but only lightly. I'm going to be using false eyelashes. I'm just going to give one coat of Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara just on my tops and my bottoms. Just going slightly in the middle here, just to add a little extra pop of colour. You see, it just brightens it up that little bit more. So that's my eye makeup done, but I'm going to top it off with some fake lashes. Now these actually came this morning, so I'm going to use them for the first time. So I got them from Amazon for a pack of 10, cost me £5.99, and I'm with Amazon Prime, so I got it free postage and packaging. That's what they look like. They're so lovely. Now these are too big for me, they're too wide, because I've got quite small eyes, so I've got some scissors here, so I'm going to cut them shorter. There, so just to show you, the ones I've just cut are at the top. So you can see they're a little bit shorter than the others. So next I'm going to apply them now to my eyes and we'll see what they're like. So I place them in the middle first with my tweezers. And then I manoeuvre them, then I go in with the corner. Yeah, they're very, very subtle. You can sort of see them. They're okay, they're okay. So just using a Real Techniques brush and Hoola bronzer, I'm just going to use this to slightly contour. It is a bronzer, but I just use it just as a little bit of a contour just here. Just give a little bit of definition there. More Radiance Brick, and it's got a slight shimmer in it. Excuse if you can hear drilling. My husband's just decided to drill downstairs, but I'm not stopping, I'm not stopping. Just using a Real Techniques brush, a really big fluffy brush, and just going on top where I contoured, really lightly in circular motions, and bringing it up slightly there. Don't want to go too close here. Just mainly there and up, bringing it down and underneath. I wouldn't always go for like a shimmery bronzer. I normally go for like a matte one, but a bit of a warmer tone. But because this is sort of like a sunshine, tropical-y makeup look, I want a bit of sparkle on my face. Then a little bit of blush, and this is L'Oreal Le Blush in Peach, and just a Real Techniques blusher brush. Just on the apples here, and bringing it up, just on top. So to bring a little bit of colour to my face. I've lost my highlighter brush, it's dropped somewhere, so go using the Anastasia Beverly Hills, the Glow Kit in Sun Dipped. I'm going to be using a Summer, which is the bright one there. I'm just using a Spectrum brush, but I'm using, I don't know what it is, it's like a contour brush, but I'm using the very tips. And then just very lightly. There. And then up there. To meet where that yellow shimmer was. Remember, I put the yellow just a little bit up there. So just to connect it there. And a tiny bit on the brows, on top of the brows I should say. Tiny bit on my nose on the bridge. Tiny bit there, tiny bit. That's my face. Going for lips next, and it is sleek, and it's a sleek pencil. It's called Powder Plump in, I don't know what colour it is. Oh there, Colossal Coral. So that looks like this, you can see. Colossal Coral. So to make that more vibrant, I'm using a So Susan, and this is a Lip Dome Plumping Lip Tint in Mango. And then to finish off, I'm using e.l.f. setting spray. It's a dewy setting spray. Oh, I love that. There's my finished look. It smells coconut. Oh, I love it. I love it, love it, love it. So that's my finished look up close. Hopefully you can see properly on the camera. I always say this, don't I? I always say this, and then I edit it and I'm like, oh, you can see. It's because I'm looking at the viewfinder. But yeah, so this is my sort of yellow and orange tropical eye look and glowy face. Quite bright makeup, but yeah, quite cool as well. I really like it, and this is the look that someone wanted me to do. So if you're watching, I hope you like it and I hope you find it easy to follow. Yeah, so I hope you like this tutorial. If you found it quite easy to follow, I'd really love to know. And also, if you find it really difficult to follow, if you can give me any constructive criticism about what you'd like me to do or not do, etc., that'd be really, really great, because I've been doing makeup for years and years and years, but I haven't been filming it and showing everybody, if you know what I mean. It's all been behind cameras. So yeah, so this is for you, but also I love doing it as well. So I hope you enjoyed it, and yeah, thank you for watching. And if you haven't done so already, it'd be lovely if you were to give me a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you. I'll speak to you soon. Take care. Bye bye.